Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station, and we're going to continue in our series of the 1927 Yankees and Murderers Row take on all comers, and tonight they will be taking on the Hall of Famer Bob Gibson and the 1968 St. Louis Cardinals. The 1968 Cardinals lost in the World Series to the Detroit Tigers, but their record that year as National League champions, 97 wins and 65 losses. Bob Gibson went 22 wins, 9 losses with an earned run average below 2, 1.12. So this will be another tough matchup for the 1927 Yankees. And I suggest if you have not seen the 3 games I did yesterday, they were absolutely outstanding. The videos were long because the games went long. They're just absolutely fabulous, fun to play. But let's get to this game. And we're at Yankee Stadium. It's 68 degrees tonight. 68 degrees. Excuse me. Clear skies, winds 9 miles per hour left to right. Let's play ball. So let's go through the visiting 1968 St. Louis Cardinal lineup. We have Lou Brock leading off, playing left field. Kurt Flood batting second and center field. Roger Maris batting third and right field. The baby bull, Orlando Cepeda, playing first base, batting cleanup. Tim McCarver doing the catching, batting fifth. Del Shannon playing third base, batting sixth. Julian Javier batting seventh, playing second base. Dal Maxville batting 8th, he's the shortstop. And in this retro project replay, we are using the DH. And so, batting 9th, the designated hitter, Bobby Tolley. And now for the 1927 Yankees and Murderers Row. Leading off in center field, Earl Combs. Batting second, playing shortstop, Mark Koenig. Batting third, playing right field, Babe Ruth. Batting fourth, the Iron Horse, Lou Gehrig. Batting fifth in left field, Bob Musil. Batting sixth, playing second base, Tony Lazzeri. Batting seventh, playing third base, Mike Gazzella. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Pat Collins. And batting ninth, designated hitter, Ben Pasquale. On the mound for the Yankees, Waite Hoyt. In 1927, 22 wins, 7 losses, 1 save, earned run average 2.63, batting average against 254. In the retro replay, he's no wins, 1 loss, earned run average 5.87. He's thrown 7 innings, 7 hits, 1 home run, walked 2, struck out 1, batting average against 250. His battery mate, Pat Collins, below average defensively, average arm. Gazzella at third, poor range, 3 out of 10. Koenig and Lazzeri up the middle are very good with range, and Lou Gehrig is outstanding at first base. In left field, Bob Musil, poor range, excellent arm. Then you have the opposite, Earl Combs, excellent range, poor arm. And then you have the Bambino, Babe Ruth in right field, average range with an excellent arm. Let's get to the ball game. So Lou Brock, left-handed batter, will lead off for the 1968 Cardinals. Once again, this is Al Red Sox Fan. You're joining me on Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station. Thank you for taking time out in your day to join me. Feel free to jump in the chat. So Lou Brock in 1968 batted .279, 6 home runs, 51 runs batted in. He stole 62 bases. The Yankees want to keep him off the base paths, and he's definitely a threat to steal. Hello, Max Cornelius, my friend. How are you? Happy Monday. Hope all is well. All right, Brock, 7 out of 10 bunter. The Yankees have their infield back. I think we'll let Brock swing away, though. Hoyt gets the sign from Collins. Here's the pitch to Luke Brock. And Brock strikes out. Big swing and a miss on the 0-2 count. So Hoyt starts the game off in style with a K. So 1 out, Kurt Flood steps to the plate. Flood batted .301 in 1968, 5 home runs, 60 RBIs. Righty-righty matchup, he batted .293 off right-handed pitching. Hoyt toes the rubber, gets a sign from Collins. Collins sets the target, the windup and the pitch. Flood swings and grounds to Lazzeri for out number 2. Max Cornelius says he's okay. I'm doing all right, my friend. Max, are you going to be doing the subscriber league? I can't remember if you put a team in. Just a reminder. So 2 outs, no one on, and the former Yankee and Kansas City Athletic Roger Maris comes to the plate. Maris batted .255, only 5 home runs and 45 RBIs. A big difference from those early 60s with the Yankees. Righty-lefty matchup. Batted .258 off right-handed pitching. The windup and the pitch to Maris. Maris singles to right field as Ruth chose to play it on a hop. Maris 4 out of 10 base running ability. Gehrig to hold him on. With 1 on, 2 outs, the baby bull Orlando Cepeda steps to the plate. .248 batting average. 16 home runs, 73 runs batted in. .243 off right-handed pitching. Hoyt looks over at Gehrig, who's holding Maris on. Now peers in at Collins. He gets the sign. He sets and delivers to Cepeda. And Cepeda sends that ball deep to left center field, but Combs is there to track it down. That's the 3rd out of the inning. No score. We go to the bottom of the 1st. Hello, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. How are you, my friends? How is Mr. Brody? Remember to check out Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Mr. Brody. And also check out What's Blazing in Sports with D-Tub. Excellent boxing channel. He just had a live stream I got off on. I was in the chat there. Did a wonderful job talking about Adrian Broner and what's next for him after his loss to Mikey Garcia. So check out What's Blazing in Sports with D-Tub and Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Mr. Brody. We go to the bottom of the 1st, due up for the Yankees. Combs, Koenig, and Ruth. Earl Combs is having a fabulous project replay. .478, 1 home run, 1 RBI. In actuality, he batted .356 in 1927, 6 home runs, and 64 runs batted in. Righty-lefty matchup for Bob Gibson. There's Bob Gibson on the mound. 22 wins, 9 losses. ERA of an outstanding 1.12. Struck out 268, walked 62, batting average against 194. Going to be a very tough matchup here for the 27 Yankees. His battery mate, Tim McCarver, fine defensive catcher, above average arm. You have Mike Shannon at 3rd. I think I called him Del Shannon, that's a singer, in the opening lineups. Above average at 3rd. Dal Maxwell, excellent at short. Julian Javier, very good at 2nd. And Orlando Cepeda, also very good at 1st. Lou Brock, above average for range, poor arm. Kurt Flood, excellent for range and a very good arm. And then Maris, a very good outfielder, range and arm-wise. So Gibson to face Earl Combs, righty-lefty matchup. McCarver sets the target. Gibson rocks and fires, and that ball is sent out to Flood, who makes the catch at deep center. 1 up, 1 down. Martin Koenig steps to the plate. Yankee shortstop batting .125 in the project replay. No home runs, but he does have 3 runs batted in. He batted .285 in 1927. 3 home runs, 62 runs batted in. Another righty-lefty matchup here for Gibson. He gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Koenig. And that is a line drive, and Shannon catches it at 3rd. He hit it right at Shannon, so 2 up, 2 down, and the great Bambino, George Herman Babe Ruth, steps to the plate. he has struggled mightily in this Project Retro replay. Ruth is only batting 100. He did homer in his last game. He does have 2 RBIs. And let me say hello to the Cubs, the Bears in the chat. And he says Gibson's 1.12 ERA, total domination. Absolutely. But is this game being played on the 15-inch mound of 1968 or the lower traditional mound? It is being played with whatever the mound was in 1927. So I'm going to say the higher mound because I assume the mound was higher in 27. Very good point, the Cubs, the Bears. Thank you for joining myself and Max Cornelius and Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Love to have everyone here. So 2 outs, Ruth at the plate. He batted .356 in 27, 60 home runs, 164 RBIs. Gibson's ready. The windup and the pitch to Babe Ruth. And that ball goes deep and gone. Babe Ruth just crushed that Bob Gibson offering, and it is 1-0 Yankees. Ruth hit that 340 feet. Wow, did he turn on that pitch. So Ruth might be breaking out of his slump. Gibson is not too happy as he is really wringing that rosin bag in his hand. Now he throws it to the mound, and Lou Gehrig steps to the plate. And if you know Bob Gibson, I hope Gehrig doesn't dig in too much, because Gibson might give him some chin music. Lou Gehrig batting .227 in their Project replay, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. In 1927, .373, 47 home runs, and 175 runs batted in. 2 outs, no one on, 1-0 Yankees thanks to Babe Ruth bomb. Carver sets the target, the windup and the pitch to Gehrig, and he strikes him out. So we go to the top of the second, 1-0 Yankees. 2 up for the Cardinals, McCarver, Shannon, and Javier. As the Cubs, the Bears knows what I'm talking about, he says Gehrig better duck. He's right. Bob Gibson was not afraid to throw inside. So Tim McCarver batted .253 in 1968, 5 home runs and 48 runs batted in. Righty-lefty matchup for Hoyt. Hoyt gets the sign from Collins. He rocks and fires. McCarver grounds to Lazzeri for out number 1. Yankee fans applaud the effort here at the stadium in the Bronx. And that will bring up Mike Don't Call Me Del Shannon. Cardinal third baseman, 1968, batted .266, 15 home runs, 79 runs batted in. The Cubs, the Bears, I'd like to say I'm very happy that that storm missed you. So that's good news. We got some good news already. Glad to hear that. So 1 out, no one on. Hoyt peers in at Collins. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Shannon. And that's a line out to Koenig. Shannon hit it on the numbers, but right at Koenig at short. So with 2 outs, base is empty. Julian Javier steps to the plate. Cardinals second baseman in 1968 batted .260, 4 home runs, 52 runs batted in. Against right-handed pitching, .256. Javier wants to get on to extend this inning. Hoyt works quickly. Here's the pitch to Javier. That's a grounder up the middle. Lazzeri backhands it and throws to Gehrig for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Yankees. At the plate, Yankee left fielder Bob Buesel. Batting .273, 1 home run, 1 RBI in this Project replay. In 1927, Bob Buesel batted .337, 8 home runs and 103 runs batted in. .331 off right-handed pitching. As the Cubs, the Bears said in the chat, no batter better dig in too much. Better be prepared to duck with Bob Gibson on the mound. The windup and the pitch to Buesel. And Buesel works a walk. Laid off the high stuff on the 3-2 count. He is definitely a threat to run. 78% chance of stealing second. 8 out of 10 base running ability. Cepeda to hold him on. Lazzeri's at the plate. Lazzeri 182, 1 home run, 1 RBI in the Project 3 play. In 1927, 309, 18 home runs, 102 runs batted in. Carver has a 6 out of 10 arm, and we're going to attempt a pickoff with Gibson. He throws over, and they get him! Gibson picks off. Musil as Cepeda applies the tag. What a move by Bob Gibson. So there's 1 out, base is empty. Lazzeri at the plate, steps back in the batter's box now. Carver sets the target, the windup, and the pitch to Tony Lazzeri. And that's a grounder to Shannon, who comes up on it, throws to first, and they just get Lazzeri for out number 2. That brings up Mike Casella, Yankee third baseman. 125 in the Project replay, no home runs, 1 RBI. 278 in actuality in 1927. No home runs, 9 RBIs, and 115 at-bats. Gibson rocks and fires. That's a grounder into right field for a 2-out single. Gazella, 7 out of 10 base running ability, 54% chance of stealing second. Pat Collins, Yankee catcher, comes to the plate. 333 batting average. In the Project replay, no home runs, 1 RBI. In 1927, 275, 7 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Let me jump to the chat. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming is posted. He said, I was hoping Beatles was here. Mr. Brody had me play a Pirates Reds 2017 game in Digital Diamond Baseball, uploading it now. Excellent. I'll be checking that out later. Also, Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Bronson Arroyo picked off 3 Pirate runners in the game. Unbelievable, LOL. Thank you for that update, Eric. And give a hug to Mr. Brody for me. Alright, 2 on, 2 out, 1 on. Here's the pitch to Collins. There, and he sends that ball out to Brock. And that is the 3rd out of the inning. As they had a hit and run on, as you could see. The runner going on first. But to no avail, Brock makes the catch. We go to the top of the 3rd, still 1-0 Yankees. 2 up for the Cardinals. Maxville, Tolan, and Brock. Dowell Maxville, 253, 1 home run, 24 runs batted in, 248 off right-handed pitching in 1968. Hoyt gets a sign from Collins. Here's the pitch to Maxville. Maxville sends that ball up the middle for a leadoff single. 5 out of 10 base running ability. Gary holding him on, and now Bobby Tolan steps to the plate, Cardinal designated hitter. Tolan batted .230, 5 home runs, 17 runs batted in, 234 off right-handed pitching in 1968. He's a 3 out of 10 bunter, 6 out of 10 hit and run. We're going to play a little hit and run here with Bobby Tolan. The windup and the pitch. Tolan swings, sends that ball deep to left field. Musil tracks it down, makes the catch, and quickly retreating back to first base. Base is Maxville. 1 out, 1 on. Top of the order, Luke Brock. He's 0 for 1 today. Struck out in the first. Yankees infield is at normal depth. Collins sets the target, the windup and the pitch to Brock. And that's going to be a wild pitch. Maxville, a pass ball, excuse me. They ruled it a pass ball on Collins, the catcher. Maxville advances to second base. He's in scoring position. With 1 out, he represents a tying run. As the Yankees are up 1-0. The count on Brock is 2 balls, no strikes. Hitters count. He'll take. Ball 3. Brock will take again. That's a strike, so it's now 3 balls, 1 strike. Brock steps back in the batter's box. Hoyt gets the sign. He sets and delivers. Brock sends that ball out into shallow. Left center field, Combs makes the catch. Retreating back to second base is Maxville. So there's 2 outs. It's up to Kurt Flood now to knock Maxville in or extend this inning. Flood 0 for 1 today. He grounded to second in the first. The windup and the pitch to Flood. And Flood doubles off the left field wall. We have a tie ball game as Maxville comes around to score on the 2-out double by Kurt Flood. It's 1-1. Now stepping to the plate, Roger Maris. He's 1 for 1 today. He singled to right in the first. Chance to put the Cardinals ahead. Here in the bottom of the third. 2 outs, runner on second. The windup and the pitch by Hoyt. Maris grounds to Koenig, inning over. But the Cardinals score 1 on the 2-out double by Flood. We go to the bottom of the third, knotted at 1. 2 up for the Yankees, Pasquale, Combs, and Koenig to face Bob Gibson. Pasquale batting 100 in the project replay. No home runs, 1 RBI. 317 in 1927, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. Garver flashes the signs. Gibson nods his head. He rocks and fires. And that's a strikeout. Big swing and a miss on the 3-2 count. He blew the fastball by Pasquale. So there's 1 out. Stepping to the plate, leadoff batter, Earl Combs. He's 0 for 1 today. He flied deep to center in the first. Gibson's ready. Here's the pitch to Combs. And that's a grounder up the middle. That's a 1-out single. So Combs will be held on by Cepeda. Very good base runner Combs is. And now bring up Mark Koenig. He's 0 for 1 today. Line to third in the first inning. He hit the ball hard, but right at Shannon. Cardinals looking to turn 2, get that twin killing to end the inning, keep this game tied up. Gibson rocks and delivers to Koenig. That's a bunt. They go to first. And they get him. So with 1 out, they choose to bunt the runner over with Bob Gibson on the mound. And now there's 2 outs. Combs is in scoring position. And Babe Ruth steps to the plate. He homered off Gibson in the first to give the Yankees a 1-0 lead. It's a blast of 340 to left field. I'm sure Gibson remembers that. Gibson peers in at McCarver. He's ready. McCarver sets the target. The windup and the pitch to Ruth. And he strikes him out. So Gibson gets his revenge in the bottom of the third. The Yankees threaten but do not score. We go to the top of the fourth. St. Louis and the Yankees tied at 1. 2 up for the Cardinals. Cepeda, McCarver, and Shannon. Orlando Cepeda, he's 0 for 1 today. Fly deep to left center in the first. The windup and the pitch by Hoyt. And Cepeda strikes out. He goes down swinging on the 1-2 count on the off-speed pitch. So there's 1 out. Tim McCarver, Cardinal catcher, steps to the plate. He digs in the left-handed batter's box. He's 0 for 1. Grounded to second in the second inning. Collins sets up the target. The windup and the pitch to McCarver. And McCarver strikes out on a swing and a miss. Another off-speed pitch fools another Cardinal batter. So there's 2 outs. No 1 on. Hoyt looking to strike out the side. Mike Shannon steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. Shannon lined to short in the second inning. Hoyt peers in at Collins, nods his head. The windup and the pitch. Shannon lines out to Garrick, inning over. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 1-1. 2 up for the Yankees. Garrick, Bussell, and Lazzari. Garrick 0 for 1. He struck out in the first inning after Ruth hit the homer. Gibson rocks and delivers. And Garrick sends that ball deep and home to right field. have taken a 2-1 lead, so the Iron Horse comes through in the clutch as he sent that Bob Gibson offering out of the stadium. Gibson is peeved out on that mound. Bob Musil comes to the plate, and as the Cubs, the Bears would say, don't get too happy in that batter's box. Musil walked his first time out. McCarver sets the target. Here's the pitch by Gibson. And after grounded to Cepeda, he takes it to first base himself for the first out of the inning. Tony Lazzeri steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1. He grounded to third in the second inning. Gibson looks in at McCarver, nods his head. Here's the pitch to Lazzeri. And Lazzeri sends that ball out in the shallow left center. Flood comes on and makes a very good running catch for out number 2. Mike Gazzella, he singled his first time up. That was in the second inning. 2 outs, no one on. Gazzella awaits the Gibson offering. Here it is. Gazzella sends that ball out to Flood. Flood's going to try to attempt a diving catch. It's a 58% chance of success. He dives, but he cannot get there. He traps the ball. Gazzella has himself a 2-out double. So Gazzella's 2 for 2 off Gibson. He's in scoring position with 2 outs. Brings up the catcher, Pat Collins. He's 0 for 1. Fly to left in the second inning. Gibson toes the rubber. He's ready. Here's the pitch to Collins. And Collins strikes out, inning over. But the Yankees jump ahead on the home run to right by Lou Gehrig. We go to the top of the 5th. The 1927 Yankees 2. The 1968 St. Louis Cardinals nothing. I have 1, excuse me. 2 up for St. Louis. Javier, Maxville, and Tolan. Julian Javier's 0 for 1 today off Hoyt. Grounded to second. Hoyt gets the sign. Here's the pitch to Javier. And he strikes him out. He hit the outside corner on the 1-2 count with that off-speed pitch. 1 out. Donald Maxville steps to the plate. He's 1 for 1. Singled in the third. Hoyt works quickly. Here's the pitch. That's popped up. Koenig's calling for it. He makes the catch. Shallow left field. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up the designated hitter, Bobby Tolan. Tolan's 0 for 1. He fly deep down the left field line. Musil made a wonderful running catch in the corner. Tolan eyeing that short porch in right field. The windup and the pitch by Hoyt. That's a grounder back to the pitcher. He throws to Gehrig. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 2-1 Yankees. 2 up for New York. Pasquale, Combs, and Koenig. Ben Pasquale, Yankee designated hitter. He's 0 for 1 today. Struck out in the third. Gibson has that determined look on his face. The windup and the pitch. That's a strikeout. McCarver drops the ball, picks it up, and throws to Cepeda to complete the strikeout and the out at first. 1 away, top of the order, Earl Combs, 1 for 2. He has flown out and singled. Combs awaits the Gibson offering. McCarver sets the target. Here's the pitch. And Combs sends that ball out to Kurt Flood in left center field. He makes the catch for out number 2. Flood covers a lot of territory in center field. 10 out of 10 range. Can't get any better than that. 2 outs, no one on. Mark Koenig steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. Lined out in the first and had a sacrifice bunt in the third. The windup and the pitch by Bob Gibson. And that ball goes out to Brockton left. He makes the catch, inning over. We go to the top of the 6th. 2-1 Yankees. 2 up for the Cardinals. Brock, Flood, and Maris. If anyone gets on, the Baby Bull, Orlando Cepeda. Brock's 0 for 2 today. He has struck out and blown out. And we're going to attempt a bunt here, as the Yankees have their infield normal. Brock 7 out of 10. Here's the pitch by Hoyt. Brock squares. He drops down the bunt, but it goes foul. So now the count's no balls, 2 strikes. Take the bunt off. Hoyt gets a sign from Collins. He rocks and fires. Brock swings, and that's a single to left field. Nice bit of hitting by Luke Brock. He goes the other way with 2 strikes. He has a leadoff single. He represents a tying run at first base, 10 out of 10 base running ability, 84% chance of stealing. Garrick's going to hold him on. We're going to attempt to steal right now. Let's see if Hoyt throws over. There goes Brock. They throw the ball into center field. Bad throw by Collins. Brock gets up and scampers to third base. He is now 90 feet away from tying the ball game. So Brock gets a stolen base and advances on the error by the horrendous throw by Pat Collins. No outs. Kurt Flood gets back in the batter's box now. Flood's 1 for 2 today. The count on Kurt Flood. No balls, 1 strike. Flood grounded out and doubled. Chance to tie it up here. And pick up his second RBI. The windup and the pitch by Hoyt. Flood sends that ball out to Ruth in right field. He makes a diving catch. We have a 96% chance of scoring Brock. Here comes Brock tagging up, and the throw by Ruth is late. We have a tie ball game. It is 2-2, so Babe Ruth makes a diving catch in right field, quickly pops up and fires towards the plate. The throw was on target, but late. So 1 out, no one on. Roger Maris steps to the plate. One for 2 today. He has singles and grounded to short. Collins flashes the signs. Hoyt's ready. Here's the pitch to Maris. Maris grounds to Gazella, who throws to Garrick, and they just get him at first. That's out number 2. Orlando Cepeda steps to the plate, right-handed power hitter, 0 for 2 today. He has flown deep to left center and struck out. 2-2 ball game, 2 outs, no one on, top of the 6th. The windup and the pitch to Cepeda. And the Baby Bull sends that ball deep, but making the catch in the left field corner is Musil. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Tied up at 2. 2 up for the Yankees. Ruth, Garrick, and Musil. Babe Ruth is 1 for 2 today. He homered in the first. That was a solo shot and struck out in the 3rd. Both runs for the Yankees have come off solo home runs, one by Ruth, one by Garrick. Gibson gets the sign. He rocks and fires. Ruth swings, and that ball's gone. Ruth crushed that offering by Bob Gibson. That's his 2nd home run of the game. The Yankees retake the lead 3-2. What a game we have here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Let's see if Garrick can go back-to-back here. That's what the Yankee fans are hoping for. Gibson throws the rosin bag down at the mound. Steps up on the rubber. Garrick 1 for 2 today. Struck out in the 1st and hit a solo blast in the 4th. McCarver sets the target. Here's the pitch by Gibson. Garrick grounds to Shannon, and that's the 1st out of the inning. Bob Musil steps to the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. He has walked and grounded out. The windup and the pitch to Musil. And that ball is going to be a double to left field off the wall. So Musil's in scoring position with 1 out. 3-2 Yankees. Tony Lazzeri steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today off Gibson. He has grounded to 3rd and flown out to left center. Musial, good speed on second base. Here's the pitch to Lazzeri. Lazzeri pops it up to Maxwell at short. So 2 outs, and it'd be up to Mike Gazzella to knock in Musial or extend the inning. Gazzella 2 for 2 today off Bob Gibson. He has singled and doubled. Gazzella digs in. Gibson sets and delivers. Gazzella pops that ball up to Maxwell, inning over. But the Yankees score the go-ahead run on the home run by Babe Ruth. We go to the top of the 7th, 3-2 Yankees. Due up for the Cardinals. McCarver, Shannon, and Javier. Tim McCarver's 0 for 2 today. Grounded out, struck out. Hoyt's up to 76 pitches. He's good for 145. He's ready. Here's the pitch to McCarver. McCarver sends that ball out to Combs in right center field. He makes the catch. 1 out. Mike Shannon comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Cardinal third baseman has lined out twice. Once to short, once to first. Hoyt gets the sign from Collins. Collins sets the target. Hoyt rocks and delivers. Grounder to Lazzeri, over to Garrick. 2 up, 2 down. Julian Javier, right-handed batting second baseman, comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. Hoyt rubbing up the baseball. Javier has grounded out and struck out. The windup and the pitch to Javier. That's a grounder to Koenig, and he makes an error. The ball popped out of his glove. So, with 2 outs and that error, Javier's at first now. He represents the tying run. 7 out of 10 base running ability, 26% chance of stealing second. Garrick to hold him on. Now bring up Dahl Maxwell. Cardinals shortstop 1 for 2. He singled in the 3rd and popped out to short in the 5th. The windup and the pitch. That's a grounder to Koenig, and this time he doesn't make the error. Inning over as he throws to Garrick for the 3rd and final out. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 3-2 Yankees. Due up for New York. Collins, Pasquale, and Combs. Hello, Stratomatic Delaware. How are you, my friend? Thank you for joining us. As he says, E6, owie. Remember, Stratomatic Delaware also has a YouTube channel. Check that out. He had a game, just to quickly go off topic for a second. On Saturday, we were talking about Stratomatic baseball games and baseball games in general that we've played, amongst movies and other things. He found a game, and he can correct me in the chat or just post it. He found a game from 1937 that reminded me of an old pegboard game I had where you'd roll the dice and it'd tell you what it was. And Stratomatic Delaware says, doing good, Al. Just did LCS Game 1. Excellent. I've been watching your, I've watched a couple of, the 1979 games. And I believe, I'm trying to remember, you're a very big Pittsburgh Pirates fan. And he says that's, oh, okay, so Stratomatic, and I'll get back to the game in a moment, so everyone relax if you're watching at a later date on, you know, after it's been recorded. He says, that's right, Dice Baseball. Yeah, it reminded me, I left a message in the comments, that reminds me of a game, like I said, a little board, it was a wood board peg game, and you rolled the dice, and it said single, double play, so on and so forth, so. Oh, I missed Eric. Let me go back to a comment real quick. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, I'll catch you later, guys. Got an itch to play some action PC hockey with an all-time franchise season I started. I forgot I had started it. Go Bruins. So I hopefully he'll post that on his channel. And the Cubs the Bears posted Higher Ground Gaming. Have fun. Derek Sanderson on all-time Bruins. I would think so. I would think so. All right, back to the game here. Bottom of the 7th. Collins at the plate, 0 for 2. Fly to left, struck out in the 4th. The windup and the pitch by Gibson. And he strikes him out. He blew that fastball by him. On the 2-2 count, he froze him. So there's 1 out. Designated hitter Ben Pasquale steps to the plate. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Gibson gets the sign from McCarver. McCarver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Pasquale. And that ball goes deep and off the wall over Lou Brock's head. Pasquale has a double to left with 1 out. That's a huge insurance run for the 1927 Yankees. He has good speed, 7 out of 10 base running ability. And we now have Earl Combs at the plate, the leadoff hitter, 1 for 3 off Gibson today. He has flown to deep center in the 1st, singled in the 3rd, and flew to deep left center in the 5th. Gibson up to 105 pitches. He's good for 135. Combs digs in, but as the Cubs the Bears says, don't get too comfortable on Bob Gibson. He might just give you a clean close shave. Carver sets the target. Here's the pitch to Combs. That is up the middle. Flood gets it. Pasquale is going to round third, it looks like, because they've given me the option as the manager of the 68 Cardinals. I have a 15% chance of throwing him out. Flood has a 7 out of 10 arm against a 7 out of 10 run. You know what? I'm going to take a shot at the plate. Here comes a throw to the plate, and Pasquale's in there safely. Just beats the throw. The Yankees go up 4-2 as the Bronx fans are clapping away and cheering away with the organist. As Stratomatic Delaware in the chat says Gibson was most certainly a warhorse. Yes, he was. But the Yankees have now taken a 2-run lead on the 1-out single by Combs. He's at first, being held on by Cepeda. Good speed there. It brings up Mark Koenig, Yankee shortstop, 0 for 2. He has line to third. He had a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd. And he has fly deep to left in the 5th. Cardinals want to turn 2 here. Keep it a 2-run deficit and get to the top of the 8th. The windup and the pitch by Bob Gibson. And that is going to be a double off the right field wall. Maris has it. Combs is going to come around to score. We got an 18% chance of getting him, and we're going to say yes. So hopefully we can hit Javier, and Javier can throw home. There's a throw to Javier, the relay, and it's not in time. Combs slides in safely. It's now 5-2. The Yankees are taking it to get Bob Gibson here in the bottom of the 7th. Koenig gets an RBI double with 1 out. And the Bambino, George, Herman, Babe Ruth steps to the plate. He's 2 for 3 off Gibson, and the 2 hits were home runs. In between the homers was sandwiched a strikeout. Carver goes out to have a word with Gibson. Action in the Cardinal bullpen. You know what? We're going to let Gibson stay in for now. Go to the bullpen real quick. I could bring Mike Torres in and watch Babe Ruth hit a home run off him. That would be poetic. We're going to keep Gibson in. This is what the people paid the money to see. Let's see if Gibson wants to get his revenge here as the organist plays charge. Gibson's ready. Here's the pitch to Ruth. And there's home run number 3. A 2-run blast, as I should have took Bob Gibson out. It is now 7-2, a commanding 5-run lead, and that's going to be it for Bob Gibson. Babe Ruth has just beaten the bejesus out of Bob Gibson's day. 3 for 4, 3 home runs, and a strikeout. So let's go to the pen as the Murderers Row has roughed up Gibby. And who will we bring in? Pete Mickelson. He threw 16 innings in 5 games. Actually, we're going to go with the left-handed thrower, Joe Horner. These are only one-game series, so he'll come in. He had 17 saves and an earned run average of 1.47. So Bob Gibson's day is done, and I don't have a pitcher for Horner. The pitcher did not load, so we'll get the little pitching icon. If I knew that, I would have loaded a pitcher. But let's all use our imagination for that one. So Bob Gibson went 6 1/3, and it was not a good outing for Gibson. Remember, in 1968, his earned run average was 1.12. The Yankees said no to him tonight. So 6 1/3, 11 hits, 7 runs, all earned. He gave up 4 home runs, 3 to the Bambino and 1 to the Iron Horse. Walked 1, struck out 6. And he's responsible for no one. So Horner's on the mound in 1968. 8 wins, 2 losses, 17 saves, 1.47 earned run average, 42 strikeouts, walked 12. Batting average against, 205. Gary got the plate, 1 for 3. His one hit was a home run off Bob Gibson, a solo shot in the 4th. Lefty-lefty matchup. The windup and the pitch by Horner. And Gehrig singles to right. Cepeda will hold Gehrig on. Bob Musil steps to the plate. He's 1 for 2. Horner throws over to first. Gehrig is back. Musil walked in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, and doubled down the 3rd base line in the 6th. Horner gets a sign from McCarver. Here's the pitch to Musil, and he strikes him out. So there's 2 outs in the inning, and that brings up Tony Lazzeri. He's 0 for 3 today. Lazzeri has struggled in this project replay. 160 batting average. He has grounded out, flown out, and popped out. Horner toes the rubber, peers in at McCarver. Here's the pitch to Lazzeri. 2 outs, runner on first. That ball goes out to Maris in right center field. He makes the running catch. Inning over, but the Yankees score 4 times in the bottom of the 4th. Capped by the Babe Ruth home run. We go to the top of the 8th. New York 7, St. Louis 2. Due up for the Cardinals. Bobby Tolan, Lou Brock, and Kurt Flood. If anyone gets on, Roger Maris. As Ken Castro has joined us, and this game was a request that Ken Castro made when I was watching Tabletop Baseball. And Ken Castro being a good friend of the channel, I said I would do it. And he says, I made it back in time, and he says, oh no, Gibby got hammered. He sure did. I'll give you his box score real quick, Ken. I don't know if you heard it. Gibson went 6 1/3, 11 hits, 7 runs, all earned, gave up 4 home runs, 3 to Babe Ruth, 1 to Lou Gehrig, walked 1, struck out 6. So Hoyt's on the mound, 91 pitches, he's good for 145. Tolan's 0 for 2. He has flown out and grounded out. The windup and the pitch by Hoyt. And that's popped up to Gehrig in foul territory. He makes the catch right up against the stands. He reaches in. What a play by the Iron Horse. So 1 out, top of the order. Lou Brock, 1 for 3. Struck out, flown out, and singled. Collins sets the target. Here's the pitch to Brock. That's a grounder to Lazzeri for out number 2. Kurt Flood steps to the plate. Right-handed batting center fielder, 1 for 2 today. He has grounded out. He has doubled, knocking in a run. And then he has sacrificed fly, knocking in another run, so he has 2 RBIs today. Flood looking to extend this inning, try to get something going with 2 outs. Hoyt's ready. The windup and the pitch to Flood. And that's a walk. So Flood does extend the inning with the walk. 62% chance of stealing second, 6 out of 10 base running ability, but we're going to keep him at first as we are down 5 runs as I'm managing the Cardinals. Brings up Roger Maris. He's 1 for 3 today. Singled and has grounded out twice. This is not the Roger Maris from the early 60s. He only had 5 home runs in 1968. He'd love to turn back the clock and send one out here at Yankee Stadium. Maris digs in. He's looking for something to grip and rip. Gehrig holding Flood on at first. 2 outs. Here's the pitch by Hoyt. Maris swings, and that ball goes to Koenig, and he throws over to Lazzeri for the force out at second. Inning over. We go to the bottom of the 8th. 7-2 Yankees. Warner has thrown 10 pitches. He's good for 25. He'll face Gazella, Collins, and Pasquale. Gazella's 2 for 3. He has singled, doubled, and popped out to short. Lefty-righty matchup. The windup and the pitch from the left-hander. That ball goes out to Maris in right center field. He makes the running catch at the warning track. 1 up, 1 down. Pat Collins, Yankee catcher, 0 for 3, comes to the plate. Corner gets the sign from McCarver. Here's the pitch to Collins. That's a grounder to Shin. He goes to Cepeda. Out number 2. Corner looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. Get the Cardinals back to bat in the top of 9th, only down 5. Ben Pasquale, 1 for 3. Strikeout, strikeout, double. Corner rocks and fires. Pasquale swings, and Cepeda boots the ball at first, so Pasquale extends the inning on the Orlando Cepeda error. 7 out of 10 base running ability. Cepeda to hold him on. Earl Combs steps to the plate, 2 for 4. He has flown out, and singled again. Yankees looking to pile it on here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, up 7-2. Lefty-lefty matchup. Combs batted .333 off left-handed pitching. Here's the delivery from Horner. Combs swings, sends that ball out to right field, but foul. Horner's now up to 28 pitches. He's in the red. And this will be his last batter. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first. The windup and the pitch to Combs. And he walks, and that is it for Horner. As the Yankee fans are overjoyed here in the Bronx. Mark Koenig, switch hitter, comes to the plate. And we're going to go with... Well, you know what? We're going to go with Pete Mickelson. What the heck? He had 16 innings. So here comes Pete Mickelson. I have a picture of Pete Mickelson. Look at those glasses. Very 1968. Mickelson, ERA of 1.13. Had no record. 16 innings pitched. Struck out 8, walked 7. Batting average against 189. First and second, 2 outs. He'll be facing Koenig, batting left-handed. He's 1 for 3. He's lined out, sacrifice bunt, flown out, and doubled, knocking in Combs in the 7th. Yankees really looking to blow it open. The windup and the pitch to Koenig. That's a grounder to Maxwell, who charges and throws the first, but not in time. The speedy Koenig has an infield hit, and we have bases jammed. As Ken Castro says, cha-cha with the E. And look who's at the plate. The Bambino. The Sultan of SWAT. George Herman, Babe Ruth, who's 3 for 4. His 3 hits have been home runs. Can he get home run number 4? It would be a grand salami. Mickelson rubbing up the baseball. Lefties hit 211 off Nicholson. Ruth batted 361 off right-handed pitching. No place to put the Bambino. McCarver goes out to have a word with the young pitcher. That goes back behind the plate. Sets the target. Here's the pitch to the Babe. And Ruth sends that ball deep, but Maris makes the catch at the warning track, inning over. We go to the top of the ninth. The Yankees have a commanding 5-run lead, 7-2. The 68 Cardinals have to get some runners on. Due up for St. Louis. Cepeda, McCarver, and Shannon. Hoyt is still on the mound for the Yankees. And I will take control of the computer team if I feel they should take the pitcher out. But Hoyt has pitched a 4-hitter and has only given up 2 runs. He's thrown 101 pitches. He's good for 145, so he's going to go for the complete game here. Cepeda's 0 for 3. And we're at Cepeda asks for time now. Now he gets back in the batter's box. Trying to not let Hoyt get in a rhythm, I guess. Hoyt nods his head. Collins sets the target, the windup, and the pitch to the Baby Bull. And that ball is popped up to Koenig at short for out number 1. Tim McCarver, Cardinal catcher, left-handed batter, 0 for 3. Hoyt gets back up on the mound, toes the rubber. The windup and the pitch to McCarver. And that ball goes out and off the wall in center. McCarver has a 1-out double. McCarver just missed a home run by inches. As Stratomatic Delaware says, oh, so close. So, Mike Shannon steps to the plate. He's 0 for 3 today. And let's go pinch hitter. Ooh, let's go with a very young Ted Simmons. Why did that pitch? So, Ted Simmons' pitcher did not load either. He only had 3 at-bats. I'm not going to go with Ted Simmons. Again, in this project replay, anyone who's eligible is on the roster. They're expanded rosters. So, makes it more fun for me. Also, both teams have designated hitters. And I usually like when the pitcher hits, a little more strategy, but... Ken, he has pitched he pitched the first game for the Yankees. I've been using the Yankee pitching staff. What I've done, quickly, I've used the 1927 games. So, like, this would be game 6. I've gone to Baseball Reference. I've looked at who started in game 6 in the lineup. It's pretty much the same lineup. The only thing that's changed has been the third baseman, Gazella, and the other guy. Other than that, and the designated hitter. I put Pasquale in as a designated hitter. So, but I've used the pitchers that they've used in the first 6 games of 1927. I think we're going to go with Johnny Edwards of 247. Not a really good hitting team, this Cardinal team. What's Shannon? 266. 258. We're going to stick with Shannon. He's due. So Mike Shannon gets a reprieve from the governor. He gets to continue in the game and bat. He's 0 for 3. 1 out. McCarver at second. Hoyt gets a sign from Collins. Here's the pitch to Shannon. And he flies out to shallow right center. A lot of range shown by Combs. He covered a lot of ground there to make that catch. So there's 2 outs. Yankees are 1 out away from a absolutely marvelous victory over the 68 Cardinals. And it's up to Julian Javier to extend the inning. He's 0 for 3 today. And we'll stick with Javier as our bench isn't really that good from what I see. Let's check one more time. I mean, the 2 people who hit right-handed pitching, Ted Simmons had 3 at-bats. And Floyd Wicker had 4 at-bats. I'm not gonna bring them in. I could if I wanted to, I just choose not to. Javier's 0 for 3. Hoyt gets a sign from Collins. The windup and the pitch to Julian Javier. And he strikes out. Ball game over. The Yankees destroy the 1968 Cardinals and Bob Gibson 7-2. In a shocker here in the Bronx, to the thrills of the Yankee fans at the stadium. You're welcome, Ken. I mean, I think that made sense the way I'm doing it. I also put there's always an off day between the games, so that way the Yankees are well rested, because they basically played the same guys over and over again. So, what a game the Bambino had, probably the player of the game. So, let me bring the box score up. And the mouse and cursor are going to freak out for a second, so I apologize. No, player of the game, Hoyt. I give co-player of the games. All right, let's do the pitching first, and then we will go through everything else. But first, I'd like to say, as Stratomatic Delaware say, that's the ball game. Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. Let me say thank you to the fine gentleman who joined me in the chat. We have Stratomatic Delaware. Please check out his channel. That's Stratomatic Delaware. Check out his channel. It's a very fun channel. He does the dice, baseball, and football. He has also instructional videos how to play Stratomatic football. And it's a very nice channel. So check out Stratomatic Delaware. And I'd say thank you to Ken Castro. Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Check out Higher Ground Gaming with Eric and Brody. I'd like to say thank you to the Cubs, the Bears. Always a good friend of the channel. Joins us a lot. I greatly appreciate it. And Max Cornelius, thank you very much, my friend. And also check out What's Blazing in Sports with D-Tub. Very good boxing channel. He interacts well with the chat, and before I did this game, I went live in his chat room, talked to a little Adrian Broner and some boxing. It was a lot of fun. That's What's Blazing in Sports with D-Tub. And one last plug for my channel. If you'd like, I'm setting up a subscriber league using Action PC Baseball. And if you go to one of my Out of the Ballpark videos from a couple of days ago, you can see, if you go to the final 5 to 7 minutes of the video, or final 10 minutes of the video, it shows what teams are eligible. And if you want to put a team in, feel free to do so. And I'm figuring out the logistics, but I'm going to get that set up this week. So, thank you very much again. And let's quickly go to the box scores and call it an evening. So Bob Gibson, I was excited. Ken Castro called for this game, so I gave it. I gave him this game. I was actually going to come with Tom Seaver in the 69 Mets, but my good friend Ken Castro requested it, and I said, that's a good matchup. But Gibby, not so much, probably the worst game he's ever pitched in his life, Stratomatic-wise. Bob Gibson went 6 1/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 runs, all earned, gave up 4 home runs, 3 to Babe Ruth and 1 to Lou Gehrig. So that was exciting. Unfortunately, I managed the Cardinals, as I manage all the opposing teams against the 27 Yankees. He walked 1, struck out 6. Horner came in, the faceless, pitcherless one. I got to find his pitcher. An inning and a third, 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 1 K. And Mickelson came in, gave up 1 hit, but got his 1 out. He got Babe Ruth out with the bases loaded. That's something he can tell his grandkids, right? And the player of the game, Waite Hoyt, went 9 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs. None of them were earned. 1 walk, struck out 5. So he easily could have had a shutout. He was the winning pitcher, player of the game. Now I'm going to give 2 player of the games, co-player of the games. Babe Ruth and Waite Hoyt. Ken Castro in the chat says, thank you, feel bad I asked for it, Al. LOL. No, that's fine. That's fine. Stratomatic Delaware says, great game, Al. Good night. Keep on rolling. We shall. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully you can join us again. I greatly appreciate it. And remember to check out Stratomatic Delaware. All right, let's go to the batting. I'll go through the full batting. Lou Brock, 1 for 4 with a run score. He struck out once. Curt Flood, 1 for 2. He had 2 RBIs. He knocked in the only 2 runs for the Cardinals. He walked once and he had a double. Roger Maris, 1 for 4. Cepeda, the baby bull, 0 for 4 with a K. McCarver, 1 for 4 with a strikeout. Shannon, 0 for 4. Javier, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Maxwell, 1 for 3 with a run scored. And Tolan, the designated hitter, 0 for 3. In total, the Cardinals were at bat 32 times, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 RBIs, both of them knocked in by Flood. Walked once, struck out 5 times, had 2 doubles. Left 7 runners on base. For the Yankees, in a very good win, Earl Combs went 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI, 1 walk. Koenig went 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI. Babe Ruth went 3 for 5, 3 runs, 4 RBIs, 1 strikeout. He homered 3 times. He left 4 runners on base. I have made him co-player of the game with Waite Hoyt, the winning pitcher. Lou Gehrig went 2 for 4, 1 run, 1 RBI, struck out once, and he also homered off Gibson. Bob Musil, 1 for 3, a walk, a strikeout, and a double. He left 1 runner on base. Tony Lazzeri, another tough night. 0 for 4, left 2 runners on base. His average drops to 154 now. Mike Gazella, 2 for 4 with a double. He's up to 250. Left a runner on base. Collins, the catcher, 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Left 2 runners on base. And the designated hitter, Ben Pasquale, 1 hit out of 4 times up, 1 run, and he struck out twice. He had a double. In total, the 1927 Yankees, 36 at-bats, 7 runs, 13 hits, 7 RBIs, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 4 doubles, 4 home runs. Like I said, Babe Ruth got Bob Gibson 3 times, Lou Gehrig once. And they left 10 runners on base. Team batting average, .235. Go to the recap. The Yankees scored a run in the first on the solo blast by Babe Ruth. They took a 1-0 lead. The Cardinals tied it up in the top of the third. 1 run on 2 hits. Curt Flood doubled, scoring Maxwell. Made it 1-1. Yankees went out on top once again in the fourth. 1 run on 2 hits. Lou Gehrig hit a solo home run that's his third of the project, to take the lead 2-1. And in the sixth, Cardinals tied it up. Actually, went ahead, excuse me, I'm sorry. No, they tied it up. It's a little late, I'm sorry. They scored 1 run on a hit and an error. Curt Flood hit a sacrifice fly, scoring the run, made it 2-2. Then in the sixth, the Yankees scored 1 run on 2 hits. Babe Ruth once again homered off Bob Gibson. That was the third of the project. They went up 3-2. Then in the seventh, the Yankees blew the game wide open. They sent 8 batters to the plate, scoring 4 runs on 5 hits. Earl Combs singled, scoring Pasquale. That made it 4-2. Mark Koenig doubled, scoring Combs, made it 5-2. And then Babe Ruth hit a 2-run blast. That's his 4th of the project, made it 7-2. In the eighth, the Yankees failed to score on a hit, a walk, and an error. That's when they had the bases loaded. And Ruth made the 3rd and final out. For New York, Lou Gehrig 2 for 4 with a home run. Babe Ruth, co-player of the game in my eyes. 3 for 5, 3 home runs, 4 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Waite Hoyt got the complete game win. Bob Gibson got shelled in 6 1/3 innings and took the loss. This is Al, Red Sox fan, saying thank you very much. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe and join our nice little community that we have going. It's like family. And please share. That would greatly appreciate it. But most of all, come back and enjoy. Recap: the 1927 Yankees defeat the 1968 St. Louis Cardinals and Bob Gibson 7-2. Health and happiness. Take care. Till next time. Bye-bye and God bless.